Hey everyone, thank you for joining me here on the Wargaming Parrot, and today's video is all about things you need if you have a cockatiel or are planning on getting one. Now for those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for quite some time, some of these items may be repeats and you may have sort of learned about them in the past. However, I'm going to try and cover all sorts of different aspects of these things and maybe cover some things you haven't seen before. If you're new to my channel, welcome. There are lots of interesting things on it. Please do feel free to check my other videos out. And you'll see our two little monsters here, Chip and Fish, and I'm going to cover as many things that I feel you need for your cockatiel as possible in this video. Before I launch into the items in this video, I wanted to mention that you do need a decent sized cage. That's a given, same with toys, etc. So I'm not going to cover them in this video because I covered them in so many other ones. I don't want to labour the point, but yes, you need a decent sized cage, so get the biggest one you can. Now this first item isn't just essential for your cockatiel, it's essential for you as a cockatiel owner, and that's why I thought I'd put it at number one, and that's an air purifier. I've talked about them in previous videos, so has Sophie, and we feel that it's something you should have if you're a cockatiel owner. Now cockatiels are powdery down birds, they belong to the cockatoo family. This means they produce a lot of dust if they're fluffing up and doing all sorts of things because it helps protect their feathers. This means it increases the amount of dust in your environment, and that also means if you have any breathing problems like asthma or you live in an enclosed space, an air purifier becomes an absolutely essential item. Now I'm going to show you a clip in a moment which shows just how much dust they kick up. So for this video, Levoit very kindly gifted us a new air purifier. It's a company we've actually bought from in the past, and we really like their purifiers because they're just efficient and they do what they say on the tin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you it in action and just talk through a few of the features that are worthwhile looking for when you're considering an air purifier. This is our new Levoit Core 400S air purifier. I thought it would be very important to get the model number in there. One thing I wanted to mention about this air purifier is it has true HEPA or HEPA filters, which means they are bird safe, and it's something very important to consider when you're getting an air purifier. So I'm just going to turn it on now and go through some of its features. One of the things we found really important when we were considering getting ourselves a new air purifier and updating from our old one is this little ring at the top. This little ring shows you how many particulates there are actually in the air. If you look at the ring, it's currently blue and it's showing a very low number. The higher the particulate number is, the worse it obviously is, and it will go from green to yellow to red if there's loads in there. So as you can see, it's keeping our living room nice and clean air-wise. It also has obviously the usual features where you can change the strength of the flow. You have a nighttime mode, which we find very useful if we want to have it on overnight. You can also turn the light off if your cockatiel is a little bit more sensitive to lights, because sometimes ours can be a little bit scared if we're having it on later on at night. So we just leave it on, put it on night mode, turn off the ring. Also has the timer features and all sorts of really cool features which we really love. The fact that you can actually just turn it on and off with our Alexa is even better as well, so we don't even have to bother getting up to do so. So overall, we're very happy with this upgrade, and I am going to leave a link in the description if you want to check it out, and also a link in my Amazon store if you ever want to go back and check it out as well. This item is an absolute essential, not just for any cockatiel owner, but for any parrot owner, and that is a travel carrier. We got our lovely travel carrier from Northern Parrots. It's very big, it's spacious, because that's important. You want them to be able to move around in there. It has multiple places to put in purses and all sorts of bits and pieces. But yes, this is an absolute essential, and it's important to train them to go in there as well, because most of the time, most parrots won't just hop in there because it'd be a little bit scary and enclosed. So why is this useful? This is useful if you want to take your parrot out and about. You can take them for walks, believe it or not. You can get them used to the outside if you plan to get them harness trained, or maybe even if you consider free flying in the future. It's also useful if you need to go for vet visits, and that's where it becomes an essential item to have for your cockatiel. If you need to go to the vet, you need to transport them easily and safely, and take them in their own cage isn't often a viable option. This is where these guys come in. Very, very useful thing to have. This item is one of those essential items for all parrot owners, but again, that applies to cockatiels too. Please do excuse the boys, there's lots of magpies out there again, although they are being quite quiet today, which is awesome. And this item is a first aid kit. Now this isn't something you can just get. You can get birdie first aid kits, but generally me and Sophie prefer to make our own, as the pre-made ones don't have everything you need. Another useful thing to sort of include is a small spray bottle. It's also useful for bathing and all sorts of things like that. And now they're fighting, so there we go. But anyway, in this first aid kit, we have sort of loads of essential items. I've covered them in my sort of birdie first aid video, which I'll leave a card for now, but I'll quickly go over them now. You've got cornstarch to help if they have any minor injuries. You have F10 cream, which is like an antiseptic sort of cream. Some small syringes. We've got some Guardian Angel stuff, which is good if they're stressed. We've got some bandages, and then we've got some saline solution if you need to clean minor wounds, or also help with eye irritations. This is one of those great things. A lot of the items here are on my Amazon store, but a lot of them can also be obtained from a supermarket, nice and cheap. So it's just something great to put together and very useful to have. Leading on from this, another very useful item related to first aid is a set of scales. It's very important to monitor your cockatiel's weight to make sure they're doing okay, and just to see if they're getting a bit chubby, or if they're losing weight, you need to know why. So having a set of scales, preferably with a little perch they can sit on, training them to sit on them and keeping an eye on their weight is also very useful, and this item is one of those essential things to have. If you have cockatiels, there's quite a high chance that they're going to have night frights. A night fright is basically just them getting scared in the night, flapping around, potentially injuring themselves. I know some of my viewers have said their cockatiels don't often have them, but generally it's very uncommon for a cockatiel to never have one during its lifetime. There are precautions a lot of owners take to prevent them. One of the simplest and easiest ones is just having a night light. Again, we've seen this little cute chick in some other videos. We like him. You can adjust the brightness on him. He's just very useful, and it just helps prevent the risk of a night fright because they can see what's going on around them. We also have one on the floor as well, which I can't show in this video because it's already plugged in, but it's also very useful. And just having night lights around where your cockatiel is resting is very useful because it helps reduce that risk of a night fright. These things have kind of become essentials in our minds over time, and we feel that they're just something that every cockatiel owner should have or make. The first one is a play stand. We've got a play stand down there, you can see. You've probably seen it in lots of our videos. It's just awesome, so it's somewhere they can chill, relax on while they're out and about, and somewhere you can train them as well. The other item is a foraging tray. Now, we highly recommend a foraging tray for anyone who has a cockatiel. Foraging trays are just awesome because cockatiels are natural ground feeders. They like foraging. They spend a lot of time in the wild foraging. So if you can simulate that at home, it just makes it so much easier and more fun for them, and also gives them something to do. If you need to do something else while they're out and about, you can pop this on the floor and you've got 5 minutes while they're foraging to go and check your emails or whatever else you need. It's very simple to make. I've got a video on DIY toys, which I'll leave a card for now. Also, just a really useful thing to have to give you peace of mind they're having fun while they're out and about, and to give you a moment's break if you're entertaining them all the time. The boys are straight back over here for this particular essential item, and that is millet. Now, millet isn't something that you should put into your cockatiel's diet as a regular thing. However, it does make an absolutely amazing sort of training treat and bonding treat, because cockatiels tend to love millet. There's many cockatiels who absolutely adore it, and it's something you should have in your arsenal for training and bonding. Basically, these guys go crazy for it. You can see that Chip is just demolishing this bud I have on my finger. He's just wicking away, demolishing this bud I have on my finger and going crazy for it. Okay. Let me just pop you back there. Sophie, do you want to take this, please? Because otherwise, you can see this is a good illustration of how crazy they go for this stuff. It is so useful to have, and it's something you should always have. But just as a caveat, I thought I'd mention in this video, don't put it in their cage. Don't hang big sprigs of it in there, because it's a treat and it should have treat value. Think of it as junk food, like I mentioned in previous videos. It's something they should have as an occasional treat, or only for when they're training or bonding. Generally, I'm not going to labour the point because I've got loads and loads of videos on diet and what we feel is the best diet for a cockatiel. But having millet in your arsenal as a training treat is awesome. Cockatiels, as I mentioned in previous videos, are exceptionally intelligent animals, and that means you want to keep them occupied. And these items help not only keep them occupied, but also to make sort of fun interactions for you as well, and helps deepen your bond. I am a big believer in training toys, and I'm a big believer in training with your parrots, because even novelty training helps deepen your bond with them, helps reinforce treats, and also just gives them some mental stimulation and satisfaction. I like recommending these little mini sort of basketball hoops. They're very simple to train, very easy to start out with. Hello Chibi, look, he knows because he gets millet when he trains with it. And then my absolute favourite training toy is this Zoomax Teach Box. I say don't have a direct link, but I do absolutely love this toy. If you do a Google search for it, you'll be able to find it. It's just starting with such a simple behaviour as picking up these shapes and popping them in here for a satisfying sound and a treat can lead to so many awesome interactions and lots of fun things. While I'm on the subject of toys, I did mention right at the start of the video about having a nice big cage and lots of fun. Make sure you kit out that cage with lots of fun shreddable toys. Plastic toys are okay as long as they're very hard plastic, but then they don't tend to serve much of a purpose. So if you have lots of chewable shreddable toys, they're going to have lots more fun and totally destroy them, which is exactly what you want to happen. So guys, that brings me to the end of the video. Thanks very much for watching. I've tried to cover as many essentials as I could think of. There's probably plenty more that you can think of, so if you have any essentials you'd like to add to the list, please feel free to comment below. In the meantime, from me and these two very naughty brothers, take care and have an awesome day.